Right, time to get into some of the final segments. Well, a big one, we've got to talk about this. Previously, one of the big four had Survivor Series lost its relevance. The argument is raging on. But let's talk about Survivor Series 2024. Now, Ryan, you've got the card there. We're going to do some predictions, run down the matches a little bit as well there for you. So what have we got? What have we got on this year's card?
Right, We'll start at the bottom end of the card. We obviously don't know what order the matches will be in, but we'll start with the recently added LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. Now, we spoke a bit more about this earlier in the podcast, so we've made our opinions pretty clear on the addition of this match. I'll start because I did kind of allude to my answer. I call me a cop-out and call me boring, Billy.
Okay.
And also, by the way, we're definitely going to have to start like a wee league table to see who gets like the most predictions.
Oh man, I will get them wrong every time.
I'm gonna keep track. So this is our first pay-per-view that we've predicted as part of the podcast.
Okay, mate.
I'm starting off boring.
Okay.
I'm putting this as some sort of no contest, some sort of draw, some sort of no result. And I don't know if it's through interference. Yeah. I don't know if it's through Nakamura completely going off the rails. I don't know if it's through LA Knight even getting DQ'd. I just don't see a way in which this match ends with a definitive winner. So that it allows them to draw the story out a bit longer without burying either men.
Yeah.
Because I've touched on it. LA Knight losing feels so quick and rushed, and Nakamura losing effectively would end his WWE career. So I'm putting it as a no contest.
I would agree. This match feels, and to be boring as well, I think it either has to be it's either going to be no contest or Nakamura loses. How bad is it that here I am kind of hoping for a no contest, little bit of heel heat, maybe leading into something, maybe a bigger match at Saturday night's main event, I don't know. But if they've brought Nakamura back with 3 weeks, 2 weeks notice, and are chucking him straight into a match for the US title, and I don't know, the promos have been great. Don't get me wrong, the promos have been good that we've seen so far, but man, I kind of hope for a no contest. So by that respect, I really fucking hope it doesn't open the show. I really hope it doesn't open the show, but we'll see what we get.
The match that I think could open the show is the next one we're going to talk about, and I would love to see it open because I think this is going to be, as one of the participants would say, a banger. We have a triple threat Intercontinental Championship match. Bron Breakker defends his championship against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. I'll let you kick this one off, Billy, because I kicked off.
Well, you know, the thing is, Bron Breakker's just got... you got to look at it analytically a little bit, right? So Bron's just got the title back. It would feel weird to take that title off him. But Sheamus needs something. Like, Sheamus does need something. I mean, he's come back. He's had he's having these banger matches. Can I just say for the record, I fucking hate the term banger. Can I just make that really clear? Like, I hate it.
Who was it? Do you remember was it Drew and Sheamus that they wanted to call the Banger Bros? And then they realised, oh, this sounds very similar to an actual porn website that exists.
It is actually a porn website. I think it's the Bang Bros or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Bang Bros. Yeah. Not that I know, by the way, just to clarify.
I'm sure I saw a screenshot. Thank you to the perverts on the internet. I also hate it when radio presenters saying, "This is an absolute banger, taking us into the weekend." Kill yourself. So there's no two ways about it. The planet doesn't need you. So I'm gonna go with. I feel bad because I've got friends that do that. So I personally have never used the term banger.
You've lost all.
Well, it's a good run, and by that I mean it was an appalling run. But Ludwig Kaiser is, I think would be.
I love him.
I think would almost be the crowd favorite. I think would almost be the crowd favorite.
Maybe so.
To win the title, just like so. These two big monsters. He's in there. You could turn around and say he was an underdog, but I think he's kind of proven himself and being able to hang. Be interesting to do. Great dynamic between him and Gunther potentially as well. You know, one's a world champion, one's intercontinental. Lovely bit of business there. I don't know if it feels like the right time. So my heart says Bron goes over. I want to say Ludwig Kaiser somehow wins the Intercontinental Championship. I just think it would be interesting. I don't think he's gonna. I really don't think he's gonna. But it'd be one of those things. I'd put a £10 bet on and cross my fingers. Do you know, one of those. It'd be one of those that if it came in, you'd be like, "Fucking yes, good on you, Ludwig." So that's what I'm going for that one. What do you think, mate?
We are so similarly aligned. It's unbelievable because I want Ludwig to win so badly. I think there's a chance because I think that they've already showed with Bron Breakker that they don't mind doing a bit of hot potato with him when, I mean, he dropped the title to Jay, won it straight back. Like, Bron Breakker could be one of those guys, like, kind of like Cena was with the world title, where he could be like an 8-time Intercontinental Champion, like, just by winning and losing it. Not saying that's what I want to happen, but I'm just saying they probably could. I love all three men in this match. I want Sheamus to win the Intercontinental Championship, but I kind of want him to do it at a bigger show. I don't know. I want him to have that moment. I feel like, I don't know, right? But I think that Sheamus winning that title should feel like a bigger deal. And I don't think that feels like it this weekend. See, do you remember WrestleMania 39 when it was Drew, him and Gunther?
Yes.
I think I want something like that again where, like, that would have felt huge. Like, he's beat Gunther, he's beat Drew, and it was at WrestleMania. I kind of want Sheamus' moment of winning that title to feel bigger than what it could this weekend. So I'm kind of holding off on that. I'm stuck between Bron and Ludwig. I know we're going 2 for 2 here, but I think it's just going to be Bron retaining.
Yeah.
I just think that, I don't know, it just feels like the match being made so late kind of indicates to me that they don't have plans to change it yet. But I would love Ludwig.
Well, you see, I think there would be a bit more mileage in Ludwig winning it. I mean, I always thought that Bron got the title a bit too soon anyway. And I know his name actually briefly was mentioned as being possibly the 5th man as well in the bloodline. Well, I guess anything's possible at this point. But I want Ludwig. I want Ludwig to win, but I think it's going to be Bron retains. Although, again, I don't really see what that does for him. Unless it's just to start off a run of matches for these guys. I mean,
I think that for Bron, the thing is, what I would say is, if he did lose the title, I would be worried about, apart from, well, he'd get a rematch, first of all, but without the title, I wonder where he stands in the card right now and who he goes up against. That's the only thing I would say, because I don't think there's any clear stories out there for him at the minute, but I guess that's a problem for another day.
Yeah.
It's not
fingers crossed this is the start of maybe more work between these two. I mean, has there ever been a best 2 out of 3 three-way dance? Like, has there ever been how? I mean, I know best out of 5. Like, how would that even work? God
knows. But we are literally, so both of us have said no contest, and both of us have said Bron Breakker. Will we start seeing a difference with match number 3, Billy?
What?
Because match number 3 that we're going to talk about is Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'll start off, and I'm just going to keep it quick, and I'm just going to keep it simple. I don't see a world in which Gunther doesn't retain this weekend. Well, I think Gunther walks out champion.
Again, Survivor Series has dropped a bit in relevancy. It now feels a little bit like a placeholder, which is really sad to say. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had the Punk return last year, but realistically, biggest talking point coming out of last year's Survivor Series. And Randy Orton return, of course. So it's hard to predict any ground-changing ones. Who does Gunther face going into WrestleMania? Like,
John Cena seems the obvious kind of suggestion.
It would be interesting. It would be in the Netflix era. It would be getting those big numbers, I guess, potentially. If Damian loses, who does he face? You know, it's you've got to ask, is this the road down to WrestleMania, or is this a reset point going into WrestleMania? Do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of agree. I think Gunther's been made to look weak. We could see some business between maybe Finn Balor getting involved. We've taken our eyes just enough off Judgment Day or Street Rats or whatever the fuck they're called, Car Park Pirates or whatever the bloody names are. Fucking atrocious. Street trash, that's it, street trash.
Street trash.
So we've taken our...
It's trash, man.
Yeah, we've taken our eyes off the road sweeper brigade for at least another couple of weeks. And I think I'm going to say Gunther retains with interference from Finn directly.
Right.
Just to make it a little different. So if Finn doesn't interfere, then I definitely got it wrong.
What we need from... Listen, I'm getting a bit bored of the long and played out Rhea and Damian versus the Judgment Day situation. It needs to come to an end. It's way past its mark. But one thing we haven't got yet is an actual payoff / blowout for Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Just one-on-one, the two of them, no interferences. So... is there maybe scope for Finn Balor interfering here, setting up something leading into either Saturday night's main event or the Royal Rumble? Yep. Definitely. I think there is. But what I will say is, if that does lead into that, it needs to be the end, and it needs to be one-on-one. Yeah. They need to... Finn needs to drop the tag titles. They need to lose those I can't believe they didn't drop them on Monday against the or the War Raiders, sorry. I can't believe they never dropped them, to be honest. But Finn needs to drop the tag titles. I think that he needs to drop the Judgment Day, and I think we just need to have Balor, Priest, one-on-one.
Yep.
Maybe even whip out a cell or something, just some big stipulation to stop anybody interfering, and that would be that. But to get back to the point, Gunther, I think, walks out as champion.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake. I mean, I'm hoping this is converging points. But you know, the thing that bothers me a little bit about what you were saying about doing something in Saturday night's main event, yes, it's going to be a huge thing on TV. Yes, we have had a world title match announced for it, which is great.
Yeah.
But that means everything else is happening quite last minute. Is Saturday night's main event going to be a must-see TV? Or is it just going to be another placeholder?
I'd like to hope so. The talk was that maybe Gunther will face Punk on that show, so we'll see. But you're right, everything is happening. I think Triple H has booked himself into a lot of corners.
Yes,
at this side of the year.
Saturday night main event, maybe that's where we see John Cena make an appearance and start pointing towards, because he's confirmed for the Royal Rumble, isn't he?
Yep, that's right. He's going to be in the Rumble.
So there we go. So. We'll see how that goes. Old skinny bald John.
The first War Games match of the night is the Women's War Games match, which actually might open the show now that I think about it. I think that could
be a bad idea. Not be a bad idea. People are very much engaged.
Yeah, I think they done that last year, didn't they? They opened and closed with a War Games match, I think.
I think so.
So anyway, it is the Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez teaming with Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. And they take on the team of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and the mystery fifth partner, which I'm just going to cut to the chase. I don't care if I'm spoiling SmackDown for anybody. They showed you on Raw anyway. It's Bayley. Bayley's the fifth woman. So a bit disappointed, Billy, because I thought it was maybe going to be Charlotte, and I also thought maybe there's a chance of it Becky Lynch. And I love Bayley, don't get me wrong, but I thought it was a bit of a wet balloon, as I called it in the podcast earlier.
Bayley's gone slightly off the boil a wee bit.
Absolutely.
I'm not giving her anything interesting to really do. I know
our title run was boring, man.
I know she's face heel Bayley now, if you like. Yeah. I just don't think they're giving her anything interesting to do. I really don't. Yeah. It's like, and Bayley, like, aligning herself for the Judgment Day would have even been interesting, because then she could have. But why would she be having on the side of one women's champion and then feuding with Rhea Ripley? Doesn't really make any sense.
Once again, it's that situation where they've kind of booked themselves into corners with certain people, because if they wanted to do something a bit unpredictable like that, then it would throw in Bayley's just turned face again, so to then put her with heels, and they've just got themselves into circles.
I'd have thrown in Nikki Cross.
Bayley's one of them.
Instead of Bayley, I'd have thrown in Nikki Cross. Either way, it's like something a little different. So different feuds and different parts of the card are represented. Different parts of the shows, and that's what I think is missing from Survivor Series now, is people from different worlds not really having any business. Maybe Bayley could be involved. Maybe that's a way of her getting like a turn or revenge or getting on to the next one, because Bayley's a main event talent who is not currently being given main event stuff to do, even though they're kind of leaning towards maybe she's the one to win the first ever women's US title. Maybe she's in the conversation.
Yep.
I don't know. But if I were to predict one, man, I'm going to go with a heel team just for sheer. They're more interesting right now, to be honest. I just think they're more.
Are we gonna go this whole card?
You're joking.
And I'll tell you why I've got the heel team. I've got the heel team because, number one, Rhea Ripley needs to have this John Cena treatment thrown out the window because she's becoming dangerously close to Super Cena. And we know what happened with Super Cena.
Yep.
People turned. And people are turning on Rhea Ripley, which is nuts because she's so good. She's one of the best women I've ever seen do it. Right. And the fact that people are turning just shows, number one, how fickle fans are. Yep. But I think it's very dangerous at the same time. And also, I say the heel team because the Jade Cargill stuff has evidently got implications to what I think we're going to see at Mania. And I think that it's going to come full circle to it being Bianca versus Jade at Mania. And I think that Bianca needs to show some sort of heel friction in this match.
Yeah.
I'm not saying full-blown heel turn, but I think maybe some discommunication with teammates, which will lead to the heels winning the match. So that's why I'm going for
as you've seen with the New Day, like, we can have a combustible element against folk that are on the same side. Maybe we don't know where the New Day is going, but maybe the jealousy, maybe the dislike. I know some people would lean towards it potentially being Naomi that was behind the attack. Hopefully we don't.
Yeah, it could.
I did it for The Rock.
Even there.
Hopefully we don't get that.
Well, that's the thing. Even like what I said about Bianca and that heel friction, even with Naomi, like the same sort of heel friction, just with a different person, like one of the two of them.
So the literal reason I was picking the heel team is because I just find them more interesting just now. I just find it more
I agree.
Just more interesting. I like Rhea Ripley. I very much like Rhea Ripley. I like lots of talents on that team, but you've got to pick someone. Fuck it. For shits and gigs, just so this isn't just the same, I will flip. And I will go with the face team. There we go. I will go with the face team.
Oh, we're flipping. Even though we had the main event. Even though we still have the main event to talk about.
Just to make it interesting because...
fair enough.
Do you know something? We hope, coming back to something we've said, we love surprises in wrestling.
Yep.
We would love maybe there would be a surprise like a Charlotte return or a Becky Lynch or even an Alexa Bliss.
Well, this is the thing. There's no call it. I mean, somebody clearly attacked Jade Cargill, so who knows? Maybe Bayley will get attacked on Saturday, and then they're down a person again, and then bang, next thing you know, Charlotte's out.
Next thing you know, something like that. So I'm gonna say the face team to keep it interesting. Although of these two teams, I am more invested in the heel team. I'm gonna come out and say it.
Fair enough.
Is Michelle Rodriguez in it? She hasn't, is she? I don't think so.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, what my fuck? Sorry, Raquel Rodriguez.
Raquel. Yes, Raquel Rodriguez is in the match.
I do that all the time. Do you know that?
I was like, who's Michelle Rodriguez?
She was in the Fast and Furious movies. It's only because I've got a crush on Raquel Rodriguez. I think it looks like she could punch fuck out of me. What a time.
Main event, which is, just to run it down and get the participants correct here. We have Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Sami Zayn and CM Punk teaming up against Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Big Bronson Reed. Wow. A big fan of the two additions to this match, both Punk and Bronson. Love
Bronson being in that conversation, man. Absolutely love it. Big fan. I've always been a bit of a fan of Bronson Reed, but and I know it's like it's good booking and it's better booking for him is part of the reason why we're going, come on, Bronson. But I was always kind of like, we need the big heels, man. We need the big heels, the big believable motherfuckers, and they're so few and far between guys like Bronson Reed, like the Vaders, the Bam Bam Bigelows, the I nearly said the King Kong Bundys, but you know what I mean, like the evolution of that generation of athlete, and he's just brilliant. But who's your pick for it, Ryan? Who's your pick?
I'm going to refer to them as Team Punk. I'm going Team Punk for the win, and the reason I say that is because I feel like I've been. After Bad Blood, when Solo pinned Roman,
Yes.
I just said straight away, well, that means that Roman's winning at War Games. So I've just not changed my mind. And I know that might sound boring. I don't have any big grand theories or anything like that, but I just don't see Solo Sikoa winning twice against Roman Reigns in this sort of match. Now, I know there's cop-outs. I know that they can do, like, you know, it's Sammy that's pinned, or it's Punk that's pinned, or it's whatever, and I know they can do it like that.
It's who's team captain. We kind of base it on who's team captain, don't we?
Yeah, I just don't see Roman taking 2 losses. So I'm going Team Roman and Team Punk and Team Uso and Team Sammy.
To keep it interesting, I would think that is what would happen.
Yeah.
But, and again, it's kind of hopes, because Saturday night's main event's coming up. The Royal Rumble's coming up. There's at least a pay-per-view between the Rumble and Mania. There's a lot of TV to be done. Things ramping up on Netflix and what have you. It's such a hard card to predict because, like I say, I think why I think it can be quality. It's like Breaking Bad, right? Everyone's got their favorite episodes in Breaking Bad, and it's one of the most iconic TV series of all time.
Fly, I love Fly. Fly is my favorite episode.
But there is still some episodes that are just time fillers. Good that they are, but they're never going to be your favorite. They're never going to be one that you quote. They never, oh, you remember that one? You forget all about it. Forget all about it.
Yeah.
On that note, I am going to go with the heel team. And because I kind of hope there's more to the story. I kind of hope, like, for CM Punk, I hope there's more to the story. Right, so that's where we are with Punk. For Roman Reigns, I hope there's more for the story. Sami Zayn, Jimmy, and Jay just forgiving Roman's faults. I just think them getting a win almost feels like there's an element of resolution, and I kind of don't want the resolution. I just feel like you said it,
I like this.
You said it the other week when, oh look, they've all forgiven Roman and they're throwing up the ones, and we all kind of went, really? Like,
I know, like that easy. Do you know why I also think that it's going to be a face win? Because I like what you're saying, and I will be 100% with you in the fact that I say your ending would be better. I think that it would be more interesting.
Yeah.
But the reason I don't think it's going to happen is because I think there's a certain bald man who will appear after the match, and it will be all about him. And that man is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
All right.
Who did you think I was talking about?
I was like,
I think
Giovanni.
I love Giovanni Vinci's back. I love the idea of what you're saying. 100%. I would absolutely love it to be more in the story with all of these connecting parts.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Triple H to. I don't trust The Rock.
Yeah.
I think The Rock that is going to come back to. And this, do you know what? This is my final prediction before we move on. I think that after this match, this is what I want to happen. This is what I think will happen. I think that the Rock will come. Whoa! I think The Rock will come down and he'll stare at Roman Reigns. The show will go off the air, which will lead to The Rock and Roman's whatever segment in a couple of months' time. I think that Sammy will have his kind of goings with the Usos or whatever. I think that Punk will just go on to doing his own thing. We'll never see him talk to the Bloodline again for the next wee while.
Fair.
And the new Bloodline will just continue to terrorise whoever they want to terrorise. I think that a lot of it's just going to fall away to the side because The Rock will come back. Well, that's my prediction.
We've both done a bit of rebooker Tina on this one because I think both scenarios would be cool. If the heel team win, The Rock could still come out and gloat. This is it.
Align himself with Solo.
We've killed it. We've killed off the Bloodline completely. I would hope he wouldn't do something really cunty like come out and go, I'm here to rescue the Bloodline. Fuck right off. Fuck right off. I do not need I want Dwayne to just continue to lean into the heel side of himself and just be an absolute bastard. That's the Rock I enjoy the most. Which,
so that's
in some ways would be a shame because I think Solo has finally started growing into that leader role properly. I think both ways are a winner. To keep it interesting, I'm going to say heel team. I'm going to say Bloodline 2. Nice. You're going to say Bloodline 1. And I think if any of those scenarios actually play out, we're on to a winner. I just think we're both in agreement of I hope there's more. genuinely hope this is a lot more, because from where we are right now, you could end it. You could end it, and I don't like that at all. I don't like that. Would be a year's worth of investment, and you fucked it up. So
just gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless you're going to go, we're going to have Rock versus Cena. No, all right.
Cross the fingers, please. But that's it. So that's Survivor Series in a nutshell. There you go.
Could be great. It could be full gear in disguise. Who the bloody hell knows?